So today we're going to be fishing a small creek and we're going to see how fly fishing compares with jigging. This hiking trail follows a river which then leads to a small lake, which I've been hiking on this trail pretty much since I moved to Colorado whenever I was 12 years old. Woodland Park, Colorado is one of those charming mountain towns that feels like a perfect escape from the busy city life. Nestled in the shadow of Pikes Peak, it offers breathtaking views and crisp mountain air. One of the best things about Woodland Park is its access to outdoor adventures. Whether you're into hiking, biking, or fishing, there's something for everyone. The town is surrounded by national forests, making it easy to find a scenic trail or a peaceful fishing spot. So for this trip, I'm going to be using my ugly stick with 8-pound dark green braided line, and then I also have a 4-pound fluorocarbon leader tied to the end. Beyond nature, Woodland Park has a vibrant community, with plenty of small shops, cozy cafes, and local restaurants. You can grab a coffee at one of the town's charming cafes, browse unique boutiques, or check out the local farmers market for fresh produce and handmade goods. The Dinosaur Resource Center is also a must visit, especially if you have kids who love fossils and prehistoric creatures. Woodland Park hosts a variety of events throughout the year, from arts and crafts fairs to music festivals and car shows. It's the kind of place where people come together to celebrate and enjoy life at a slower pace. Whether you're visiting for a weekend or thinking about making it home, Woodland Park is a special place that captures the beauty and spirit of Colorado's mountain life. We're approaching the source of the creek, but I would like to discuss the lake that's further downstream. One of the biggest draws of the reservoir is its crystal clear water. Whether you're into kayaking, canoeing, or paddleboarding, the reservoir provides a perfect setting for a relaxing day on the water. Fishing is also a popular activity here, with anglers often catching trout and other local fish species. The shoreline is dotted with perfect spots to cast a line and soak in the serenity. For those who prefer land-based adventures, the hiking and biking trails around the reservoir are top-notch. The reservoir trail offers stunning panoramic views and takes you through beautiful forested areas. It's the perfect place for a leisurely walk or a more challenging trek depending on how far you want to go. Camping near Rampart Reservoir is another great way to experience its beauty. While there are designated campgrounds nearby, some visitors enjoy finding a quiet, secluded spot to set up camp and enjoy a night under the stars. The mountain air and the sound of nature make for an unforgettable experience. One of the best things about the reservoir is its peacefulness. Even on busier days, it never feels overcrowded, and there's always a sense of calm that makes it easy to relax and recharge. Whether you're looking for adventure or just a quiet place to unwind, the reservoir is a true Colorado gem that's worth visiting every single time. The creek that winds its way to the reservoir is also another excellent fishing spot for catching very small brown trout. Flowing through the Pike National Forest, this little underway is more than just a feeder for the reservoir. It's a scenic escape. For anyone who loves to explore, following the creek is an adventure in itself. The sound of trickling water mixed with the rustling trees creates a calming atmosphere that makes you want to slow down and enjoy the moment. Along the way, you'll find plenty of places to stop, skipping some rocks, or dip your toes in the cool, refreshing water. Wildlife thrives along the creek, with birds flitting between the trees, deer stopping for a drink, and even the occasional fox or bear passing through. It's one of those places where you feel completely immersed in nature, away from the noise and rush of daily life. The creek also offers some excellent fishing spots for those looking to reel in a catch before the water reaches the reservoir. It's not uncommon to find anglers quietly waiting along the banks, hoping to hook a trout in the clear flowing water. Hiking alongside the creek is another great way to take in the scenery. Whether you're up for a rugged trek or just a casual walk, the trails near the creek provide stunning views, especially in the fall when the leaves change to brilliant shades of red and gold. Shallow creeks provide an ideal habitat for brown trout, offering them cool, oxygen rich water and plenty of hiding spots among rocks and fallen branches. These fish are incredibly adaptable and can be found in a variety of water conditions, but they particularly thrive in places where the current isn't too strong and where they have access to insects, small fish, and other food sources. Fishing for brown trout in shallow creeks can be both exciting and challenging. They are known for being wary and can be spooked easily, so stealth and patience are key. Fly fishing is a popular method for catching them, as it mimics the movement of their natural prey like mayflies and caddisflies. Many anglers swear by early morning or late evening as the best times to fish, as brown trout tend to be more active in feeding during these hours. Beyond fishing, brown trout play a vital role in the ecosystem of shallow creeks. As both predators and prey, they help maintain a balanced food chain. Their presence indicates a healthy waterway as they require clean, well oxygenated water to survive. Whether you're casting a line or just enjoying a peaceful walk along the creek, spotting a brown trout is always a special experience. Their beauty, behavior, and importance in the environment make them one of the most remarkable fish to encounter in shallow creeks.
My water bottle open? Nope. It's not? Nope. Or it's a little bit open. Yeah, you got a little bit leaked out. It's because the strap, it slid through, and the strap opened up the lid.
I decided to swap out my atomic teaser because the tail on the teaser got ripped off. As far as how I organize my tackle box, I like to keep a smaller box like what I had in my hands just now, in one of my pockets. I like keeping spoons, jigs, and spinners in that box because that's pretty much all I use to fish. On rare occasions, I will use bait to fish, but only if it's a guaranteed way to catch.
There's some fish right there, so I'm going to cast out in front. See. Got him. Hey, don't cast in here. I got one. I almost got one. Got off.
So as of right now, the fly fisherman has managed to successfully catch one, and I almost managed to land one, but unfortunately he did spit it out, so it does not count. Creeks are some of the most peaceful places to fish, but they're also home to some of the most skittish fish. Unlike in big lakes or deep rivers, fish in small creeks are extra sensitive to movement and sound. If you stomp around carelessly, you're basically announcing your presence and the fish will dart away faster than you can blink. Tiptoeing keeps your approach quiet, giving you a better chance at sneaking up on your target. Fishing in a creek isn't just about catching something, it's about being present in the moment. When you tiptoe, you slow down, taking in everything around you. The rustling leaves, the soft trickle of the water, the darting of tiny fish below the surface. You start noticing where the fish are hiding, how they move, and what they're feeding on. It's like getting a backstage pass to nature's show. Tiptoeing also helps keep the creek in its best condition. Splashing around can disturb sediment, making the water murky and affecting the fish's environment. Walking gently helps preserve the clarity of the water and ensures that the fish and the whole ecosystem stay healthy. Plus, no one likes a spooked fish or muddy fishing hole.
You got a good bite? What?
Rainbow trout, while associated with large rivers and lakes, can also thrive in small creeks where they face unique challenges and exhibit fascinating behaviors. Rainbow trout require clean and oxygen-rich water to survive, making small creeks an ideal habitat if the conditions are right. These creeks often provide the cool temperatures necessary for trout survival, especially when fed by springs or high-altitude runoff. The presence of riffles, pools, and undercut banks offer hiding places from predators and strong currents, while serving as hunting grounds where trout can ambush insects and small fish. In a small creek, rainbow trout primarily feed on aquatic insects such as mayflies, caddisflies, and stoneflies. They also consume small crustaceans, minnows, and even terrestrial insects that fall into the water. Unlike their counterparts in larger bodies of water, creek-dwelling trout must be opportunistic, reacting quickly to available food sources due to the lower volume of prey. Anglers seeking these trout often use fly fishing techniques that mimic the natural insect activity within the creek. Life in a small creek comes with significant challenges. Limited space can lead to competition for food and shelter, especially during dry seasons when water levels drop. Predators such as birds, raccoons, and larger fish pose additional threats. To survive, rainbow trout rely on their keen senses, camouflage, and ability to dart into cover at the slightest sign of danger. In winter, they seek deeper pools where the water remains relatively stable and unfrozen. Rainbow trout play a crucial role in the ecosystem of small creeks. As both predator and prey, they help maintain a balance within the aquatic food web. Their feeding habits control insect populations, while their presence supports predators like otters and eagles. Additionally, their spawning activities contribute to the health of the stream bed by aerating gravel and maintaining habitat diversity. Braided line, like what I'm using right now, is extremely good for fishing. However, it does have one drawback. It is extremely easy for fish in this creek to see with the crystal clear water. So, that's where the fluorocarbon leader comes in. Fluorocarbon leaders are an essential addition to braided setup. When fishing in a small creek, fluorocarbon is nearly invisible underwater due to its refractive index, making it ideal for fooling cautious fish. It also provides abrasion resistance against rocks, logs, and other underwater obstacles that are common in creek environments. By using a leader, anglers can benefit from the strength and sensitivity of braided line while maintaining the stealth required to entice fish into striking. The choice of jig depends on the target species and creek conditions. Small, soft plastic jigs, hair jigs, or tungsten jigs are excellent options for creek fishing. Anglers should consider natural colors that mimic local prey, such as minnows, crawfish, or insects. When jigging in a small creek, a slow and subtle presentation is often the most effective. Since creeks have limited space and fish are easily spooked, precise casts and gentle movements are crucial. Letting the jig sink naturally and using slight twitches can imitate the movement of injured prey, triggering strikes from fish hiding in undercut banks, eddies, and deep pools. Creek fishing presents unique challenges such as fluctuating water levels, swift currents, and dense cover. Anglers should adjust their jig weight accordingly to maintain contact with the bottom without getting snagged. In areas with strong current, a heavier jig may be necessary, while in calm pools, a lighter jig will allow for more natural presentation. Proper knot selection is also important when connecting a fluorocarbon leader to braided line. A double uni knot or a FG knot ensures a strong and seamless connection, preventing breakoffs during a fight with a fish. Made it to the reservoir, so we're going to fish a little bit at the mouth of the creek, and then we're going to go back up the other side and fish that side till the end. If you're into fishing, you've probably heard of tube jigs. The beauty of tube jig is in its action. When rigged properly, the hollow body and tentacle-like tail creates an erratic darting movement that mimics injured baitfish or crawling crawdads. Fish can't seem to resist that unpredictable motion, making tube jigs a go-to bait for many seasoned anglers. There are a few ways to rig a tube jig, but the most popular method is inserting a weighted jig head inside the hollow body. This gives the lure a natural fall and makes it easy to control in the water. If you're fishing in heavy cover, a Texas rigged tube with the hook hidden can help avoid snags while still giving you that same great action. Tube jigs shine in a variety of conditions. Drop them into rocky areas where bass love to hide, drag them along the bottom for walleye, or jig them vertically in deep water for lake trout. They work year-round, but they're especially deadly in colder months when fish are more sluggish and looking for an easy meal. Size and color matter when picking a tube jig. Small 2-inch tubes are perfect for panfish and crappie, while 3 to 4-inch tubes work great for bass. If you're targeting bigger fish like lake trout, go even bigger with a 4 to 5-inch tube. Natural colors like green pumpkin and smoke mimic baitfish and crawdads, but bright colors can be killer in murky water. Further down at the first cove is where I've caught every single fish out of this lake. But we're not going to be heading down this time. Instead, we're just going to head back and hit the other side of the creek. So now that my shadow is casting directly behind me, I might have some more luck. As of right now, the fly fisherman is beating me. Fish are highly sensitive to changes in light and shadow. In many aquatic environments, fish use shadows as an indicator of potential danger. Predatory fish as well as prey species have evolved to respond to shifting light patterns in order to avoid threats or to capitalize on hunting opportunities. For instance, when a shadow suddenly appears on the water's surface, smaller fish may instinctively flee to deeper areas or seek shelter among vegetation or underwater structures. Conversely, ambush predators such as largemouth bass or pike may use shadows to conceal themselves while waiting for unsuspecting prey to pass by. Understanding how shadows influence fish behavior can help anglers adjust their techniques for better results. One key consideration is the position of the sun and how it affects the angler's own shadow. If an angler is fishing from a bank or a dock, casting a long shadow over the water can spook the fish, causing them to retreat. To counter this, anglers should position themselves so that their shadow falls away from their target fishing spot, or fish during times when shadows are less pronounced, such as midday when the sun is directly overhead. Boats can also create large moving shadows that impact fishing success. A drifting boat may inadvertently cast a shadow over an area, alerting fish to possible danger. Skilled anglers often take this into account by positioning their boats strategically
Got
or
one.
using a slow, stealthy
for me.
approach to avoid disturbing fish. Additionally, the use of lighter colored boats or fishing during overcast conditions can minimize the disruptive effect of shadows on fish.
Hold on, go on. Can you set him free? What's that one? Number 3? Put 3.
Shadows can also play a role in how fish perceive baits and lures. Bright sunny conditions create high contrast shadows, which can make artificial lures more or less effective. Depending on the species being targeted, some fish are drawn to lures that mimic the contrast of natural prey, while others may be deterred by sudden unnatural shadows. So fly fishing did beat a spinning rod with a jig on it, but the water level was really low this time. So maybe whenever spring comes around and the ice starts to melt, we can have another competition.